I hope that this is the last video that I do on these people, the Snowdens, because this is getting really disturbing. Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Debbie. I am the She in Sheality TV, and today I want to talk about an interview that was done by another YouTuber named John Yates. So last night I watched this interview. He found what I'll call a Snowden survivor, and her experience with the Snowdens happened before Seeking Sister Wives ever existed. And the story, I don't even like calling it a story because I believe every word she said. And the word story just feels so light to me. But for lack of a better word, the story that she told in that interview was disturbing. And I'm gonna warn you that if you go watch it, don't watch it at night. If you're a sensitive or empathetic type person, don't watch it at night, because I watched it last night at about 11 or something, and I didn't fall asleep until like 4 this morning, which is why I look the way I do. I didn't fall asleep until about 4 this morning, and it is disturbing. It convinced me that the gates of hell reside wherever the Snowdens are. She talks about a whole bunch of details that I don't want to go into here. I don't want to recap that interview just because I don't want to. Watching it disturbed me enough. I just don't want to recap that. I can't. But like I said, if you watch the interview, don't watch it at night. You watch it during the day, and if you watch it at night, put on something happy afterward. So that the story disturbed me, and it happened to her before, like I said, before Seeking Sister Wife ever existed, and there was someone before her, and she was so early in the process that the Snowdens didn't make her sign an NDA. So getting off track for a second, my issue with the whole NDA thing is that all of these women think that because they sign an NDA, they have to be quiet about what happened to them, that happened to them. I'll call it mistreatment because of YouTube language, but it's much more than that. So they feel like they have to be quiet about the mistreatment that happened to them under that roof. But an NDA does not supersede the law, to the best of my knowledge. I studied law for a little while. So an NDA does not supersede the law. So someone can't make you sign an NDA and then bring you in and, totally mistreat you and essentially commit crimes against you. The NDA doesn't cover them for that. And this woman didn't sign an NDA, nor did the one before her, which she says is why she's telling her story. But she said that when she saw the Snowdens on the first season of Seeking Sister Wife, she notified TLC of what happened to her. So that, like, can you see my brain? My brain is just going, why would you call TLC? I mean, what happened to you was horrific, but TLC can't do anything. They're under contract to these people, so you can't call them as a complete stranger. What are they going to do? Oh, some woman called and said, that you mistreated her this way, and we're going to have to let you go, right? That's just not going to happen. What she should have done was call the police. And in her experience, after her experience with those people, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth to even say their name now. After her experience with these people, she had nothing because they took everything she had. Her money, her car, her everything. She had nothing, and she had 2 kids. So when she finally got the strength to leave, Dimitri gave her money to leave, but asked her not to call the police. And she didn't call the police. Now, if you ask me not to call the police, if you're ugly to me and you ask me, if you commit crimes against me and you ask me not to call the police, what do you think is going to be the first thing I do? As soon as I get off your property, as soon as I get out of your eye line, I'm calling the police. But I'm sorry, that's me. Might not be you. And even if you didn't call the police, even if you felt like, you know what, it's not safe enough for me to call the police, don't do it right away. But by the time she saw the Snowdens on Seeking Sister Wife, rather than pick up the phone and call TLC, who isn't going to do anything anyway, right? Because they can't. TLC is not like you and I shooting the shit, gossiping over coffee. TLC is a subsidiary of a multinational corporation. It's going to take a hell of a lot more than a phone call from, essentially for them, it doesn't even amount to he said, she said. I know we're all expecting them to pull them off the show, because when she said she told TLC, like in the interview, she goes, I contacted TLC when I saw them on the show. And she says, so TLC knows. And TLC's not going to do anything. TLC is not the FBI. TLC is not the police. TLC's hands are tied by the same contract that, all these other women think their hands are tied by. They think their hands are tied by an NDA, but their hands are really not tied by an NDA. If you feel like your hands are tied by an NDA, at the very least, you could take it to a lawyer. At the absolute least, and the lawyer would have told you, yeah, this isn't going to shield them from the law. An NDA does not shield someone who is doing illegal things from the law, right? So she said that she called TLC and TLC didn't do anything, but she says, so TLC knows. So I'm like, okay, well, TLC knows, but TLC's not going to do anything because the police don't know. It's been happening for years, and the first person to call the police was someone who doesn't even live in this country. But it's been happening for years. So if Crystalline didn't file that restraining order, none of this would be happening. We wouldn't know. And it's been going on for God knows how long, for at least 5 years. No one said anything before that. Crystalline filed the restraining order a couple of months ago, but she actually called the police in January. Nobody said anything to the police about these people until then, and it took her to do that. Why? All of you other women who are the weight of one, the weight of the word of one might not be much, but if 3 women, 5 women, 10 women, however many women they are, if they all decide, you know what, rather than, go do an interview with TMZ or YouTube or Instagram or whatever, rather than put it on there, go put it in a police report. Putting it in an interview on YouTube, or it's just, all it does is prolong that process, right? That's all it does. You have to tell someone who can change it, or someone who can get that ball rolling. TLC is not going to get that ball rolling. They're not. TLC, see what this whole business that's going on with this Dugar kid, that had to come to a head before TLC could do anything, right? It's just the nature of the beast. And it's not just entertainment, it's just sense, right? There's an order, there's a way to do things. And if you tell people that something is happening to you, but you don't tell the police, who are the people who could actually get that ball rolling. Well, what do you expect everyone else behind them to do? The police are at the front of the line. They're the first people you have to tell. Like I said, her story is disturbing, and she needs to tell the police. Like, it's one thing to, watch this and for us all to say, oh, she's so strong and she's so, yeah, girl, you have to tell the police. You have to. Even if they don't do anything, they have a record of it. Even if they don't do anything, they have a reason to start looking into it. But that's where you have to start. If you don't want to go there by yourself, call a lawyer. If you signed an NDA and you're afraid to open your mouth, call a lawyer. Get them to look at it. Yeah, like I said, if you're going to go watch the interview, if you want to, I think it's 2 parts. And if it's 2 parts, I'll put both parts in the description box. I will say though, the interview, it explains a lot, including why those kids are so damn clingy to every brand new woman that walks into that house. It's actually really eye-opening, but disturbing. But yeah, I'm sorry if this feels really disjointed. My brain is all over the place. Anyways, yeah, I hope that this is the last time I have to talk about this, because it's getting, yeah, I don't want to talk about it anymore. I feel dirty. Do you know what I mean? We thought Crystaline's story was bad. This woman's story, I don't want to hear anymore. I don't want to hear another woman's story. I want them to do what it takes to just get these people off the face of the earth. Like, it's just awful. Yeah. Anyways, you know who I am. This is Shiality TV. I'm gonna go back to bed because I am fucking exhausted. I'll see you next time. Peace.